Hey guys, let's get more news about Lakers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Lakers move on from Dan Hurley rejection, plot next move, report. The Los Angeles Lakers are circling back to ESPN analyst J.J. Redick after two-time national champion coach Dan Hurley spurned their 6-year, $70 million offer. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reported on Thursday, June 13, that the Lakers will formally interview Redick over the weekend in Los Angeles, adding a strong performance is expected to move him to the forefront of the franchise's search. Redick is currently working as an analyst in ESPN's coverage of the NBA Finals on ABC between the Boston Celtics and Dallas Mavericks. The Celtics could wrap up the series with a sweep on Friday, June 14. If the Mavericks stave off elimination, Game 5 would be on June 17 in Boston. Either result would give Redick time to visit Los Angeles over the weekend. Redick initially interviewed for 90-plus minutes with Lakers Vice President and General Manager Rob Pelinka in May at the Chicago Draft Combine, according to Wojnarowski. Hurley turned down the Lakers on June 10 after he and his wife met with the Lakers brass in Los Angeles. Geography and the allure of winning the college basketball's first three-peat since John Wooden's UCLA won 7 straight from 1967 to 1973 were cited as reasons the Northeast-bred Hurley passed up on the opportunity to coach the Lakers. With Yahoo Sports' Jake Fisher reporting that James Borrego is one of the leading candidates in the Cleveland Cavaliers coaching search, the Lakers' job is for the taking for Redick if he makes a strong impression in his formal interview. Redick, a 16-year NBA veteran, is also a co-host of Lakers superstar LeBron James in his Mind the Game podcast. Redick goes into the formal interview with an open mind, acknowledging the narrative that whoever is chosen as the next Lakers coach would forever be referred to as the second choice after the team's highly publicized courting of Hurley and eventual rejection. Pelinka and Redick have talked on the phone in recent days, and Redick understands and accepts Pelinka's lengthy pursuit of Connecticut coach Dan Hurley that initially stalled Redick's candidacy, sources said, Wojnarowski wrote. Redick, minus 115, is the odds-on favorite at DraftKings, the number 2 rated sportsbook at MI Betting, to become the next Lakers coach after the Hurley fallout with Borrego, plus 450, a distant second. ESPN's Brian Windhorst said on Get Up that Redick should seek the same offer the Lakers threw at Hurley. If I'm J.J. Redick, I'd start by asking for 6 years, $70 million if they're gonna offer me the job, Windhorst said. Windhorst said the Lakers' job is a very demanding job, making the hiring process difficult for the organization. There's not a lot of great candidates out there, Windhorst said. What the Lakers are doing here is they're looking for a high-risk, high-reward coach. Dan Hurley was a high-risk, high-reward discussion. J.J. Redick would be a high-risk, high-reward situation. I think everyone needs to understand, including the Lakers fans, who are not known for their patience. According to Wojnarowski, one of the Lakers' priorities is to get a coach who is not just in a win-now mode but also willing to develop their young talents for the post-LeBron era. As Pelinka did with Hurley, he still wants a teaching coach and staff who will prioritize the development of young players such as Max Christie, Austin Reeves, and Rui Hachimura and can design a creative approach to featuring Anthony Davis on both ends of the floor, sources said, Wojnarowski wrote. Dan Hurley confirms there was number that would have made him leave UConn for Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers made a hard push to make Dan Hurley their next head coach, although he ultimately turned them down in favor of staying at UConn. Hurley understandably wanted to stay home to chase a third straight national championship, although it turns out money may have played a factor as well. Early in the Lakers' pursuit, it was reported that they were planning to give Hurley a monster offer of at least $100 million. After he declined though, it came out that the offer was actually only 6 years and $70 million. While that would have made him the 6th highest paid coach in the NBA, a solid number for someone with no experience at that level, he had a similar extension from UConn on the table and obviously didn't feel that was enough to move his family across the country. On the Dan Le Batard show with Stu Gatz though, Hurley confirmed that there was a number that would have made him leave UConn for the Lakers. Yeah, I think to leave there probably is. To leave a place at any moment in your life, I think to say that it's not a motivating factor, the finances, to leave a place, it's definitely a thing. To stay at a place, I don't think it's ever going to be a thing. To stay somewhere like UConn, it would have never been a financial thing. Like again, this wasn't some like pressure tactic to make me the highest paid college coach, that shit was already done. But to leave a place that you feel the way we do and the family connection with my wife and my sons, my mother-in-law, my father who I know how much it means to my dad to go to the Big East tournament and to come to 10 UConn games a year at home and sit courtside when I'm coaching against Rick Pitino. Yeah, to leave all that behind, there probably is a number. I don't know what that is. Many assumed that Hurley was just using the Lakers to leverage another extension from UConn, but he put those talks to bed. One of the worst takes I've heard is like this was a leverage play by me to improve my situation at UConn. Like, I don't need leverage here. We've won back-to-back national championships at this place. This was never a leverage situation for me. I've had a contract in place here for a couple of weeks, and the financial part in terms of salary has been done for a while. Some other parts like NIL and staff salaries and some different things that I want adjusted that I'm not comfortable with, but the sense or the idea that this was some conspiracy to get me a sweeter deal at UConn, it's lazy. It was truly a gut-wrenching decision for me. Sunday night going into Monday when I had kind of a deadline in my mind, I was like torn and I didn't know really what I was gonna do until I went to bed. If Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka were really set on making Hurley the Lakers' next coach, then it's clear they should have made him a bigger offer from the start. He, of course, could have countered with the contract figure that he wanted, but with him and his family's known desire to stay in the northeast part of the country, negotiating didn't seem to be something he was interested in. Regardless, the Lakers' pursuit of Hurley is over and they are now shifting their focus back to other candidates with J.J. Redick set to interview this weekend. J.J. Redick set to formally interview for Lakers coaching job, report. After all of the rumors, J.J. Redick is set to travel to L.A. as the franchise's search for a coach continues, ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports. J.J. Redick will formally interview for the Los Angeles Lakers coaching job this weekend, and a strong performance is expected to move him to the forefront of the franchise's search, sources told ESPN, WOJ said. Redick, an ESPN NBA analyst who played 15 years in the league, had a 90-plus minute visit with Lakers Vice President and General Manager Rob Pelinka last month at the Chicago Draft Combine. Now, a trip to Los Angeles will go far deeper into detail on the job and the meetings will include Pelinka and owner Jeannie Buss, sources said. The Lakers were left a little embarrassed after the team offered UConn coach Dan Hurley more than double his college salary to take the top job, which he rejected this week. LA's other reported leading candidate, Pelicans assistant James Borrego, looks as though he is shoring up a deal with the Cavaliers. Although it would seem there is a rush to secure a coach, some members of the Lakers don't think it's an absolute necessity to have a coach in place by the NBA draft, according to LA Times' Dan Woik. While having a coach in place by the draft is ideal, it's not viewed as an absolute necessity by some inside the Lakers organization, Woik said. The team is facing major decisions this summer with its roster, beginning on draft night when the team could combine the number 17 pick with first-rounders in 2029 and 2031 in a trade. Though, Woik affirmed that Redick and Borrego aren't the only names being floated by the Lakers brass. Still, people with knowledge inside the building maintain that the Lakers search isn't limited to just Redick and Borrego and, if necessary, more interviews could be forthcoming, he said. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of J.J. Redick? Leave your opinion in the comments.